Hey, it's B-Rad, Celebrity Hairstylist here, your host of the Hairstylist Empowerment Podcast, a platform that allows the voices of the beauty industry to empower with the spoken word. Thank you for joining us on today's show. Today's episode is a special edition highlighting the educators of the beauty industry cruises, artists on tour. Today's guest is no stranger to the beauty industry. Let's take a quick dive into today's show. Cortney Cox has been a licensed esthetician since 2001. Additionally, she has a degree in human services and decades of office management and bookkeeping experience. She has worked in salons, in her own home studio, and in a suite. Courtney started her own business renting a suite for 9 years. Courtney specialized in waxing, spray tans, lash lifts, brow henna, brow and lash tinting. After falling in love with Elibana lash lifts, she became an educator for Elibana. Courtney eventually became a distributor and a master trainer for Elibana, all while continuing her clients in her suite. Moreover, Courtney also held the position of general manager for Elibana USA. She has since returned to her passion of being an esthetician, working with her clients and redirecting her focus with Babe. Nevertheless, after years of experience, the educator in Courtney couldn't stop there. Courtney created a long-held dream of this educational community. As an educator and owner of Brilliance Advanced Beauty Education, she is dedicated to helping others in our industry. Above all, Courtney wants nothing more than to give back and to help make the beauty and wellness industry stronger. So let's welcome the incredible guest, Cortney Cox. So we'll bring her up on screen. So welcome, Courtney. So glad to have you on today's show. So I'd like to welcome you to the Hairstylist Empowerment Podcast. So as we start, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Hi there. Thanks so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here. So you kind of talked a lot about it. I've been an esthetician for over 23 years. I've also was a nail technician for a very short stint, but it just wasn't for me. I've been an educator, a trainer, master trainer, and sub-distributor for Elibana, and then was a general manager. But when I was working with them as a trainer, I realized how much I enjoyed training people and giving back to our community and our industry. It's just so fulfilling. So while that was a dream job for some people to be a general manager for a global lash and brow brand, that just didn't fulfill me. So I went back to clients in my private practice part-time, and I started my company, Brilliance Advanced Beauty Education. We do advanced continuing education for beauty professionals and massage therapists. And we, in the United States, anyone can really take our classes, but in the United States, some states require continuing education hours to maintain your license. So we work with different states to provide those credit hours. So when they're renewing, they are able to utilize our classes as options. So it's been quite a journey, and it's nice because I can still see my clients because I still love doing what I do after 23 years, but I can also give back to our industry and help where I can.
That's amazing. So we want to know more. We'd love to know more about Brilliance Advanced Beauty Education. Tell us everything, like what kind of classes do you teach? If somebody wants to be involved, how can they be involved? We're going to come up next. Don't answer this yet, but what you're currently offering as far as events. I know you have an event coming up, so that'll be just after this. So if I went on, do I have to be already a licensed esthetician? Because it says advanced beauty. So what does that mean as to be a regular esthetician? I'm lucky enough that I'm fully trained in hair aesthetics, massage, and holistic. So I am a licensed esthetician and nail technician. So I can do all that kind of stuff. But we all have our favorite areas. If you're like somebody who loves waxing, somebody who loves facials, somebody who loves body wraps or body work, like that sort of thing. So people came to your Brilliance Advanced Beauty Academy. What kind of courses could they expect?
Yeah, thank you. So first and foremost, I do not create all the classes. I work with several different people that create classes, and they have their own expertise and niches. Because I'm not about to pretend that I know everything, because I certainly don't. I still learn all the time. I'm taking classes. I'm in masterminds. I'm a forever learner. So those educators, just I can take more educators if there's people out there that want to be a part of this. But typically there's like a interviewing process, and we talk about your skills and what you have to offer. But we have a team of educators who have created different courses. Currently, we're offering 62 courses. We're adding courses all the time. Most of our classes are online or live virtual. We do have some in-person classes and some in-person conferences. Our classes are really for, barbers, cosmetologists, estheticians, massage therapists, nail techs, hair braiders, even beauty and massage educators. A lot of our classes are a little bit more like soft skills, so personal development, and so things like boundaries or finances, or just things that people don't talk about in school. And sometimes it's hard to find a resource. Like, we have a class on maternity leave, how to take a maternity leave. That's something, I mean, we're obviously we have a lot of women in our field, and that can be a very common thing, that people need to take a leave. And really, it could be kind of applicable if you were going to take a personal leave for some other reason. But yeah, so we provide all different kinds of classes. We do have some technical classes, and we are branching more into that. But we kind of started with some of the soft skills and personal development, because we feel that while you may be amazing at your craft, if you aren't handling yourself personally, if your boundaries are terrible and people are walking all over you, or you are, not paying your bills, you're not, handling your finances well, then you're not going to be successful, and you're not going to be happy. And we feel that that's equally as important as your technical skills. So that's a little bit what we are involved with. And we have the continuing education. We're approved in 11 countries, 11 states right now, which a lot of the United States does not require it, but we're approved for most of them at this point that do require them. And anyone can take our classes that is in the industry and speaks English. Unfortunately, that is the only language we have at this time, but maybe in the future we can have some translated. I would love to be able to help other people that our English is not their primary language. And I do think that a lot of our classes, if you're a student going to school for our industry, that these are perfectly helpful for those people, because it would just set them up for success sooner.
Yeah, I find too that what you're teaching is, and that's what I always look for with doing education, with being an educator. Like, I always look for classes, because I'm always training. Like, let's find something that's not out there. There's not a lot on maternity leave. This is the first time I've heard of it. There's not a lot for continuing education, as far as like legislation changes all the time and rules change all the time. And if you got your license in 1975, nothing wrong with that, but things have changed since then. And a lot of times what you learned, and that's the thing with hair, with aesthetics, a lot of people think, I got my license from school, I know everything I need to know, which is obviously not the truth. Product change, technique changes, clients' needs change, ingredients change. There's so much that's kind of different. I also like too that you're also taking it virtual or online, which helps a lot of people, because people are busier now, I think, than ever. Because first, when we were kind of locked down and kind of stuck in, people weren't doing that much. But that's the best way now, that you can kind of sign up online, get the course, and I assume you allow them to do it at their own pace.
Yeah, so any of the online classes are self-paced, which is, like you're saying, so nice. You can be
Mm.
anywhere. You can be, a passenger on a road trip in the car watching it. You could be on your lunch break. You could, at work in between clients. You could be, at your kid's soccer game. You could be wherever, at home on your couch while, your significant other watches TV you're not interested
Mhm.
in. So you can, complete the online classes at your own pace. Our live virtual, we always have a replay available. Obviously, it's better if you can attend live because
Live.
then
Yeah.
you have the educator, you can ask the questions and things like that, but you still have the resources. And most of our classes never expire. So once you purchase it, if it's something you want to refresh on, you can. There's only a couple classes that we have expire, and that's simply because in some states, there are requirements that classes have to be completed every renewal for
Mm.
their license. Like in Illinois, for example, we have a domestic violence class and a sexual harassment class that we have to complete every renewal. Well, the sexual harassment, the domestic violence is just once in our career. So
Yes.
that one we expire because they have to take it again next renewal. So, but otherwise, once you purchase that class, some of them are obviously more lengthy. Some of them take an hour and some of them are 10 hours plus. So just depending on, what you're looking at, a 10-hour class, you're going to probably want to
Mm.
refresh back on, about
Exactly.
finances.
Well, and
Yeah.
that's a lot of information as well. And do all or some of your classes, courses, do they have a certificate that comes with it once you complete?
Yes, yes. You receive a certificate regardless if you need continuing education hours or not. So you will have a certification that you completed this course. And then obviously, if you're in a state that needs those CE or CEU hours, then you would receive that certificate.
Oh, that's great. And it's nice for them to put up in their room then. And I think clients like to see that too. They like to see that you're always training, you're always learning, you're always not, here's my school certificate and that's it. They like
Yeah,
to see that you're taking other courses. And a lot of people think, well, I love waxing. But the thing is, you can be a waxologist, but I think you also need business. You also need interpersonal skills. You also need domestic violence. You also need, like, a lot of those things you think you wouldn't need, but to help
yeah,
identify. And myself, I'm certified in domestic violence as well. I took my course, same online, got it, because it's one of those things I think you need as a professional to be able to identify. Because if you can't, you know what I mean? So you may be letting somebody go that may need your help or is trying to reach out but can't really say anything. Like
absolutely.
there's so much there. And like you said, live is always better. So talking about live, you have some events coming up. So let's talk about those. I think there's two, one for nail techs and one for as I say, like estheticians, beauty professionals.
Yeah, so thank you. On September 22nd, we have a conference in the Chicago suburbs. St. Charles is what the city is called. And the conference is September 22nd is for nail technicians or cosmetologists that are open to learning a little bit more about nails. It isn't all nail focused, but there definitely is some covered there. We have a variety of speakers that are covering just unique topics. We allow for time for people to connect both with each other and with the sponsors and educators. And then, of course, lunch is included. We have a professional photographer that provides a new professional headshot because I feel like everybody's are either outdated or they hate them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
um, and then September 23rd, the very next day, we're doing it all over again but this one will be for massage therapists, estheticians, and cosmetologists that are a little more spa focused. So same situation. It's going to be a variety of speakers, some of which are different and some of which are the same from the nail day. And then there will be lunch is included, continuing education hours on both days. We offer a small goodie bag and then a new headshot. So, and of course, the time to connect, which I think is in some cases is more valuable than like anything, you never know who
Mhm.
those connections and collaborations where they could go, or just having a new professional colleague that you can kind of just bounce ideas or like vent to, because I mean, you may have a very supportive friends and family, but if they're not in the industry, it's not always they don't always understand. So
Exactly, exactly. And that's the big thing. And people, I think they don't really understand the value of relationships, of connecting, of networking. Because I think networking has kind of a negative somewhat connotation just because everybody says networking. But what people do, they go and they're like, about me, about me, about me, and they don't care to listen to what the other person has to say. So a lot of people are like, I'm kind of turned off with that. But if you kind of look at it from a different way, look at us. If we didn't connect, you know what I
right.
mean? So there's different ways. You never know what kind of collaborations will come together. You never know what kind of things will happen. As I say, I love the idea of the lunch, the goodie bags, the photos, because I mean, yeah, people are used to selfies, but you want a more professional photo. You don't want a selfie photo. And I've seen so many people so filtered up that if you met them live, you would never know it was them.
Yeah, yeah, so true.
Because people want real, people want authentic, people want like all that kind of stuff. So kind of going back to your course before we go on to the next one. Um, so are you currently offering courses for sign up? So the ones you have online, are they available for a certain period of time, or can they sign up at any time for
They
almost
can
any
sign up.
course?
Yeah, good question. They can sign up anytime. And if you don't mind, I just want to touch, like you were saying before, how
Mhm,
it's so important for people to learn these skills. And I think a lot of times people think because they're not an owner or a solo provider that this isn't relevant to them. But it really is, because I feel like as someone who also worked for someone for a like at least a decade,
mhm,
you kind of are your own boss. No, you do not have all the same, worries in regards to like taking care of the building and the staff, but
mhm,
you do need to provide customer service. You do need to be prepared for different situations and things like that, and have good boundaries and taking care of yourself as well. So all of this is so important. I can't imagine not learning past, what we learned in school. But
mhm, mhm.
yeah, all our classes, with the exception of, any of in-person events, are
Yes.
available anytime. We have them just listed on our website. It's almost like you're just shopping at your favorite online store. You just simply purchase and check out, and then you receive access. You receive a receipt, and you receive access to the online course platform where you can just take the classes. And actually, the system that we use, they even have an app, so you can do it on your phone or
Mm.
tablet, or you can do it on your computer. So whatever's best for you. They're pretty user friendly. So
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. So many people are on their phones now that if I mean, you say, I'm not addicted to my phone, but try to give your phone up for a week. Most people,
a
can't,
day.
or social media or things like that. Like as you say, I want to go, like I have to have like I need to talk to you. So much,
Yeah.
because so much is going on with all the stuff that you teach. It's like amazing. And another thing that you're doing, which I'm really excited about. So when you first heard of beauty industry cruises, powerful education, beautiful uh, destinations, kind of what did you think, like
I
about
thought
education at sea?
I thought it was genius. I mean,
Mm,
who doesn't love to go be with other people, travel? I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's a little scary if you're traveling by yourself, if you don't have a professional bestie going with you, right? But
mm,
I mean, just get over that feeling and go meet people, because guess what? Everybody there is in that same position. And you're going to meet such amazing people. I mean, I love to travel. So I thought this is so smart. And what a great way to I mean, being at sea with other professionals and learning, first of all, you're going to be with like-minded people. You're going to experience new things with different people. You're going to grow as a person all by yourself just for going and doing this. And I just think you'll have a much stronger connection, even than if you were to attend like my conference, right? Because you're going to be with these people for days. And you can spend as little or as much time as you want with people, but that's kind of some of the beauty in it, is just getting to know other people and just sharing your experiences. And yeah, I think it's so smart. I love it.
Yeah, and the same. It's about that same bringing that format again. It's about relationships. It's about connection. It's about the networking. It's also about reinvention. It's also about rejuvenating yourself. Because a lot of times when you go on there, yeah, you may know a lot of people, but if you're at a point where nobody knows you, maybe
Right.
that's your time to start fresh again. And every time you learn something new, a facet of you, I think, changes because you learn new information. So then you kind of think about things a little bit differently. So it's always good with any training you take, always be open-minded, always be able to receive the information, because what you learned, as I say, things change. And that as an educator. So for you as an educator and somebody who has brilliance Brilliance Advanced Beauty Education, how important do you believe education is for our industry?
Oh, I think it's crucial. My opinion in general about learning is, if you're not learning, you're kind of dying. I
Mhm,
mean, not literally, but you're getting behind. And not that you have to jump on every trend, right?
mhm,
But for instance, like with the conference I have coming up, I'm always up to I'm bringing in people that are covering very unique topics, and it may not be relevant to everyone, but I can speak for myself where people ask me about things, especially in this era where it's like TikTok and influencers, and there's just, there is a million things going on in the beauty and massage industry, right? So
mhm,
people will ask you what you know about it, and what, even if, I mean, I wax people and they're talking to me about like medical
mhm,
procedures, so I feel like just having a little information, at least, understanding what they're asking about, being that resource for them, can be so beneficial. So even if it's not completely relevant to you, or you have zero desire to move into that era, I know like in the hair industry right now, I think this is such a cool trend, but the new trend right now is all these scalp treatments, these scalp
mhm,
services, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, how have we not been doing this for like decades?" Right? But
mm,
and even if that's, maybe you don't have the space or desire to do that, I think just learning about it and being able to, when your clients ask you about it, have some information about it, can be super helpful. So I just think learning is, you have to. I mean, for
mhm.
the people that signed up for our industry and like thought that they were going to be done when they graduated, I'm sorry, but it's just not the truth.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, and
like you were saying earlier, what was popular when I graduated as opposed to now are just
mhm.
worlds away from each other.
Exactly. Trends change, even as say if you're in beauty, not in hair, but even in makeup, in skincare, that all changes with the looks. Like, is it nude? If you say from the 80s, it was very heavy and high, vibrant color, things like that. But then again, years before the 30s, it was much more a strong, vibrant lip. But then everything else was more nude, things like that. And a lot of it depends on what kind of products you have now, or a lot of even celebrities now are going natural. They're not putting any makeup on anymore. Because I've worked years in film, television, runway, where because you're creating illusion, you're creating images, you're creating all that kind of stuff. But getting back to kind of what you said, yeah, it's great to have a head spa if you can afford one and you have the space. But if not, you can also make your salon spa like Himalayan lamps, soft lighting, um, aromatherapy, the music that you choose. So you can create a spa-like environment. Even if you don't have a head spa, you can still learn massage techniques at the sink. European sinks are better because you can wash from behind and you don't have to be bent over,
Yeah.
with your armpit in their face, which I don't think is comfortable for anyone. Sort of thing. But it's really about that. And say, even if it's something that you think, I'm not interested in this, you never know what piece of gold or information that you might learn from that class. Like if you want to learn about business, don't just stick to hair and spa business. Learn from other people, because business is business. Dealing with clientele, I believe, is the same across, because everybody says, I'm not busy enough. How do I build? How do I get more people through my door? How do I But then again, it's same. It's about relationships. It's about connection. It's about, are you out there? Are you networking with your community? Are you meeting and really getting to know the people that, like you said, when you're waxing, other than asking, did you go into a sunbed? Have you lubed up on lotion before you came to get waxing? Like those are things you need to know, before you wax, because obviously you don't want to tear skin off and you don't want to have it slide right off because they have so much lotion on their skin. And I mean, obviously aftercare, all those kind of things are really important, where a lot of people, they'll come in, what do you want? I'm getting waxed. Okay, they do the wax and they're like, see you next time. They don't rebook, they don't offer products, aftercare, things like that. So there's so much more to it in creating that relationship with them, sort of thing. So as we kind of we're going to wrap up quickly, because there's more I want to talk about, but we'll definitely have you kind of back again. So I know you're offering education on the beauty industry cruise. So what will you be sharing as an educator, and what will the attendees learn from your class?
Yeah, so I'm so happy to be a part of it. And the class that I'm going to be offering is small actions to provide an exceptional service and how to stand out from the crowd. And basically, in the class, it's just that, right? We get a little bit, either you maybe don't know about some of these ideas, or just kind of a refresh, right? I'm not reinventing the wheel here, but um, at this time, things are more expensive in general, but people are spending money. People are traveling, people are doing all the things. So we just need to stay forefront on how in our customers' minds, in our clients' minds, and have them remember that we're there. And so it's providing just a bunch of tips. Many are free or very, very low cost, like $1 or $2, to provide exceptional services for your clients and to kind of stay in the front of their mind, so that they're returning to you. And nothing is super, super hard or very time consuming, but all of these tips are just little nuggets, like you were saying, golden nuggets that you can take back and make their experience valuable, or more valuable than maybe what you're already doing, and just feeling very personal. Everybody wants to be recognized and seen, and yeah, this is their time with you. They want to experience, they don't want you just kind of like what you were saying, when you meet and connect with people, they want to be the focus. They want to be seen and heard. So it's just a little bit of that. And yeah, just basically diving into, I think there's probably, I didn't count, but maybe 20, 30 little tips for you, and giving examples of how you can do that, to stay fresh and regroup and provide your customers a really great experience.
Well, and that's exactly it. It's about the client. And say, like I was saying before, it kind of led into this, or segue into this, that, if you're not rebooking, you're not creating relationship, you're not going to stand out. Like
Yeah.
if you say, hey, my 9 o'clock is here, rather than, hey, Joan is here, who's a person who's commissioning you for your service, where if you see them just as a dollar sign, how many waxings can I get through? And then next, and hopefully they'll buy product that you haven't recommended. Hopefully they'll rebook because the receptionist said, hey, would you like to rebook? Those are really things but a lot of it has to do with action. You can't have anything that, if you don't have actionable steps, you're not going to go anywhere. Just saying, I want people to recognize me. I want to stand out in the industry. If you're not taking action to do that, who's going to see you?
Yeah.
Sort of thing. So if you're interested in coming to Courtney's class on an upcoming cruise, you can go to www.beautyindustrycruises.com. And if they wanted to find you on social media, where could they find you on social media?
Thank you. Yes. So we're on Facebook at Brilliance Advanced Beauty Education, and we're on Instagram. It's Brilliance Advanced Beauty Ed. It's too long. So
So you had to cut it down a little bit, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then the website, if they went to the website,
it's brillianceadvancedbeautyeducation.com.
Okay, which is easy, and they can find everything there. They can sign up there. They can get what the kind of certificates. And I would challenge anybody who's watching, kind of go on, maybe take a course that you wouldn't normally take. Like take something that, stretch yourself. Maybe it's domestic violence. Maybe it's something to do with, I know, business or accounting or something, you know what I mean? Or just business in general. Or, I think it's always good to kind of just challenge yourself. So as we wrap up, do you have any nuggets of gold you would like to impart to our audience?
I think just be genuine and authentic to yourself. Your clients can pick up eventually when you're not, and who wants to be doing things they don't want to do? So, keep learning, but be genuine and authentic, and follow your heart, even though sometimes it's hard. Just keep doing what is best for you, and I think you feel more successful and content and happy that way.
Exactly. And that's wonderful. That's like shiny gold. So if you want to listen to this podcast again, make sure you do share it with your friends. And you can also be a guest at www.hairstylistempowermentpodcast.com. So this episode of the Hairstylist Empowerment Podcast special edition has been brought to you by Beauty Industry Cruises, powerful education in beautiful destinations. Kind of let's take a look at the next upcoming event, which is October 25th, 2024 to November 2024. And this leaves from New York. So let's take a look.
Wake up to the sunrise glow. Dreams on board, we're ready to go. Brushes out, let's paint the scene. Life's a canvas, vibrant dream. Feel the wind, the ocean's breeze. Every wave brings us some ease. Lipstick shades and glossy shine, making art one face at a time. We are beauty pros on the cruise. Every stroke we can't lose. Celebrate each perfect hue, creating magic just for you. Mascara wands like magic wands, glamour spreading across the ponds. Highlighter to catch the light, in its shimmer, future's bright. Nail art dazzles sparkling eyes. On this ship we're reaching skies. Every color speaks our heart. In our world we play a part. We are beauty pros on the cruise. Every stroke we can't lose. Celebrate each perfect hue, creating magic just for you. Feel the wind, the ocean's breeze. Every wave brings us some ease. Lipstick shades and glossy shine, making art one face at a time. We are beauty pros on the cruise. Every stroke we can't lose. Celebrate each perfect hue, creating magic just for you. We are beauty pros on the cruise. Every stroke we can't lose. Celebrate each perfect hue, creating magic just for you. sweating across the ponds. Highlighter to catch the light, in a shimmer, future's bright.
Wow, Courtney, could you imagine yourself there?
Looks amazing.
Yeah, so that's everywhere. So everywhere that you saw in that video is everywhere that we're going. So this is a
Oh,
10-day. So it's 5 days on land, 5 days at sea. We leave from New York. We do Kirk and Caicos, Grand Turk, Amber Cove that you saw kind of on there as well. It's just incredible. I think anytime you're in a different destination, you always have a different mindset. And that's a great way to decompress. It's a great way to relax. That'll be the last beauty industry cruise for 2024. Coming up, there's new cruises from Miami, New York, Port Canaveral, Texas, Amsterdam, Athens, UK, Jacksonville, and more. So are coming up for 2025. And just added for 2026, we're doing a 14-day in Hawaii from Long Beach, Los Angeles. So again, you can go to www.beautyindustrycruises.com or follow on IG at Beauty Industry Cruises. So if you have an idea for the show or would like to be a guest, you can email me at Hairstylist Empowerment Podcast at outlook.com. So I want to tell everybody to remember to get up, dress up, show up wonderfully and powerfully, and I'll see you next time.